I don't think there's any pressure on Tony Vitello. He's one of Tennessee's most popular coaches of all time. Rick Barnes, Tennessee's basketball coach, is also very popular with the fan base. So, yes, there's some criticism for not making it to the Final Four in basketball. We go through that each season. But the fans also they're still grateful to have Rick Barnes as their coach because they win so much and they always make the NCAA tournament. That hasn't always been the case. Baseball was 0, nothing, zilch, nada when Tony Vitello became the coach. So fans not only appreciate the success, they really like him personally. This guy's very involved in the community. He goes to supports other teams. He's just a really likable guy. If he weren't a baseball coach, he would still be very likable guy, somebody you would like talking to, hanging out with, I think.
Like me.
Not that I do that, but I've talked to him a lot, and I just think he has a really good personality, and he's interested in a lot of different things. And when you're talking to Tony Vitello, you don't get the impression he's the coach and you're not. You know how it is with a lot of coaches. They're always, they can't even relate to people if not from that vantage point. If it's just two guys sitting down having a beer or having lunch together or a cup of coffee, they're going to be very uncomfortable. Think Nick Saban can do that? Think Urban Meyer has any interest in that? No. But Tony Vitello can. I mean, he goes to other sporting events and he's just a fan, a super fan. So there's this great connection between Tony and the fan base. And so if he doesn't win a championship, fans will look at it. They won't be angry. They'll just be disappointed. And they'll be disappointed for him because they want to see him win. So it's kind of unusual in that regard, the relationship between fans and coach. That's why I have a hard time putting any stock in rumors that he might go to Texas.
That's what I wanted to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Vitello leaving here. And I sure wouldn't want to live in Austin, Texas. I don't think he does either. I would be stunned if he took the Texas job. My gosh.
What's going on in Austin, Texas that I don't know about? Rough town?
Rough. It's about as woke as it gets, Dave. It's the Portland of the Southwest. They were a lot of politicians there were in favor of defunding the police. We've seen how well that goes nationally. So it's too congested. It grew too much, too fast. It's like the 11th largest city in the country now. People are moving out of there. I was talking to a friend of mine who lived in Austin a long time, and he said he knows people from there moving to Idaho. Gets a lot colder in Idaho than it does in Texas. But
Boise is beautiful in February.
Excuse me?
Boise is beautiful in February.
Good. You can go there and enjoy that beauty. Just shovel your way out of that snow and have a great time.
So on the board here, people are because I retweeted a message board tweet by some Texas fans that I think Tony Vitello is going to Texas. I do not think that Tony Vitello is going to Texas, and I'll tell you why. All the things that John just said, but I think Tony Vitello is also at a spot in his life in which he realizes he set everything up to have success. This would be the dumbest time humanly possible to leave. I mean, he's got a brand new stadium. He's got all the facilities. It would make absolutely no sense. He's got the excitement. You're right. He's likable. He'd have to start all over. And listen, Texas may have more money in their athletic budget, but are they spending any more money in baseball? I don't know that, John. So I don't think the money, just because they have a bigger athletic budget, could necessarily be more. I think Tennessee could match if they wanted to, but I don't think they have to.
Oh, I definitely think Tennessee could match it. If you look at Tennessee sports since Randy Boyd became president of the University of Tennessee system, it's a different world than it was before that. You can go right through all the coaches. Rick Barnes, UCLA, a few years ago, is coming after him, courting him for the head coaching job. Tennessee made him one of the highest paid basketball coaches in the country. Tony Vitello is already one of the highest paid baseball coaches in the country. Look at what happened with Josh Heupel. He's making around a little over $4 million, and boom, he goes 11-2 in 2022, and all of a sudden they double his salary. He's making over 900 now. I mean, over 9 million, not 900 million. If he was making over 900 million, hey, if he was making over 900 million, he could pay other teams to lose to him. Huh? So what? No, but my point is this is a different world over there. Randy Boyd is a businessman, an extremely successful businessman. He knows Tony Vitello is good for business. Danny White, the AD, knows that too. If Tony Vitello wants to leave for a reason other than money, I guess that's possible. But my gosh, I wouldn't go to Austin, Texas. And I'm looking at some of the responses on our Twitter board. I don't think they're a big fan of Austin, Texas either. So I don't put much stock in that. But been wrong before, Dave. Shocking as I might seem.
And I guess it's part of my background covering the Lane Kiffin thing. Like, I'm always wondering and mindful of that sort of thing. And I do it for you as the fans, because I know it's not something you want to think about. So I try to, do some digging and see if there's any looking around. I wrote a very infamous column the day that Lane Kiffin left saying there's no way that he would ever leave. So that ran. That was great. That was a great piece. So John, but when we talk about Tony Vitello having an opportunity at Texas or anywhere else, we're really paying him a compliment. And to think that somebody's not going to make a run at him is a little short-sighted, I think.
Well, sure, maybe some Major League Baseball team will make a run at him. But I don't think he wants to coach Major League Ball. I think Tony is really happy with his life here in Knoxville. And that's not just the baseball. He loves what he's doing. He's in a great situation. Go back a couple of years. I think LSU had an interest in him. It ended up hiring Jay Johnson away. LSU can pay as much money as Tennessee, as much money for as Texas can, I think. You've seen that in its hiring history in different sports. I just don't think he would want to do that, because his lifestyle and his situation here, I think, is much better than it would be in Austin, Texas. And I know he has a friend who lived in Austin, Texas for a while, and I think he could quickly point out some of the disadvantages of that move. I just don't see it happening. Now, yeah, I mean, could he end up going to Vanderbilt? Sure, that's a possibility. I'm kidding.
Can you?
Nobody's going to Vanderbilt.
No. Would that be as hurtful as Lane Kiffin going to Southern California? Which would be worse?
Tony Vitello going to Vanderbilt?
Yeah. I mean, which would really be worse? Maybe we should replace the
Oh, definitely. Vitello gave it. I mean, he would have. I mean, he would have had to have a mental incident, something catastrophic, life-changing, life-threatening, to make that move. Oh, and just so we don't spark any rumors, I don't see Josh Heupel leaving for Vanderbilt either.
No, you do not. And I'm glad. I don't think he's going to leave for Vanderbilt, but you never know. You always have to keep your eye out. I'll write a column on that here in a couple of days, and it'll definitely go. There's no question about it.
Yeah.